one that can maneuver around that and have an understanding to do so. It is that IGL, that veteran experience that Mel has, right? To be able to take Shopify, you know, from a probably uncomfortable spot at first to adapting on the fly. This first pistol round is going to be a heavy emphasis towards an A fight early on for Shopify, but look at that Yoru TPR to use from Dodo Nut to lean towards C to help the double controller.
Sarah used the missiles right at the beginning of the round, so you know the door is broken. And so there's a little focus on A and then the TPOA, as you were mentioning. Meanwhile, for FlyQuest, the objective is scoop up the orb and then reset the map. So far, so good.
Yeah, look at FlyQuest are now waiting for a re-clear of Shopify. So they have their own set protocols of how Shopify Rebellion like to approach these defensive rounds. But since that trap wasn't triggered in the first, 30 seconds of the round, they decide to set their sights on that A, understanding that it's probably weaker now.
Yeah, and remember, Donut used a TP to get towards C at the very beginning. So if once they do find out that that's where the hit is headed, it's going to be a bit more timely of a rotation towards the A side of the map. FlyQuest have quietly found safe passage out towards half wall. Sarah spotting should give everything away. And now, that's the deadlock and the Viper. Door is going to be popped. They know exactly where the hit is. I love this from Shopify, too. They're not committing to the fight too early. They're just grouping up, and they will go their own way.
They're definitely waiting for some type of lurk. And now, a deadlock wall coming out at stairs. That's going to have to be broken pretty early on here once this Omen smoke fades. And that will stall the retake. But Shopify, they've been in this spot before. They're very comfortable in doing set retakes. That Sheriff from Bob is doing some damage.
Alexis already has been found. They have managed to clear through the wall. But still, so much of the work is left to be done. Salvo's flushing out. The utility is really nice, and Donut's there to punish, there to capitalize. His 4v4 pistol is going to be a bit of a mess. Again, the spike has been ticking for a little while. Mel's going to be on the flank. Mel finds 3. And now you've got Lay stuck on the other side of the door. It's not planted for her. Noi is going to stick the defuse all the way. A 4K for Mel and the pistol for Shopify.
Yeah, hey, man, forget the IGLing that's required. Mel has stepped up to the plate here mechanically, getting 4 into that round. And that was such a poised and controlled retake. Even being down 1, nobody panicking from the side of Shopify. Just really taking their time, using their utility to flush out the post-plant positions of FlyQuest. And everybody in tree just crumbled. And of course, as is any other match that me and Doug cast, we are due for a tech pause. We're turning into the new the pots and pans, man. The pansy pock, dude.
Oh, we do get a couple of these. Once we figure out what's going on, we will keep you good people at home informed. And get back into the action. Shopify were able to walk away with the pistol. You mentioned the heroics out from Mel, and a lot of that, you know, when you think about navigating the deadlock utility in a post plant, in a 5v5, when the spike has already been planted and you have to rotate from the freaking other side of the world to have a chance to make a play, it was insanely well done.
Yeah, and it was a great punish from Bob as well, once that wall was being broken on stairs. So you see some brilliance of how this deadlock can, you know, really put impact into the rounds and kind of put a thorn in the side on those retakes. But it just came down to that micro stuff that I was talking about, Doug. Like when push comes to shove and you actually need to dig deep and grind out the round, Mel was the one that was able to come out on top.
I am being told that the pause is due to a quick player situation. So, again, once we know more, we'll keep you all informed. But I know that everyone involved is trying to get back into the game as soon as possible. I think if you take a look at FlyQuest just in that pistol, and Dre, you mentioned it there, and we talked about Bob a lot leading into the series. Bob hitting at the beginning is going to be really key for FlyQuest, for FlyQuest, excuse me, because for Shopify to get through that the way that they did, certainly bodes well. So there's got to be someone on the other side to be able to step up and punch back.
Yeah, but the problem is execution, right? You were up 5v4. You had the macro game 1. You know, you kind of baited out the rotations. You had Spike planted and it still didn't go your way. You cannot let that get to you. If you do, your chances of beating a team like Shopify are going to be nil. Like slim to nil, I should say. Especially given all the history between the teams and, you know, who has come out on top historically. You need strong starts against a team like Shopify.
Tech pause is done. Players and fans can rejoice. Back into the action we go. You see, take a look at the buy for FlyQuest. It's a Ghost, a Sheriff, and then classics around it. Meanwhile, for Shopify, a much more notable investment. 2 Bulldogs, an Outlaw, and a Judge. And it does seem like they are going to be testing some of that purchase here, B.
Yeah, I was a little worried for Shopify at first with that close setup because those classics can do a lot of damage in those like little scruffles.
Yeah, they hurt.
But yeah, it's a re-clear of A for Shopify and everybody on FlyQuest now, or the main core, leading towards C, trying to re-clear out Mel.
The Outlaw works. Mel continues to pile it on. 2 kills found. And that's as clean of a round as you could possibly ask for.
Yeah, Sarah's also able to bring that Outlaw, dropping the Stinger into this round. So the weaponry for Shopify on this bonus is looking really nice. And I don't believe Noya disclosed that she has that Judge as well. FlyQuest can, I mean, if they get funneled into where Noya is anchoring, it's going to be, or it could be disaster, right? We've seen that Judge, specifically from Artzin and Tree, do a lot of work, man. And it looks like FlyQuest are defaulting A early on here, so, and it's pacey.
Meanwhile, Lace dying at the beginning of the round on the opposite side of the map. You cannot, I mean, you cannot afford to get bonused here. You can't. Not if you're FlyQuest. Donut just got a kill C, rotates back already, getting involved in the action A. The power of Yoru on full display. You were mentioning the Judge too, getting up close and personal. You take FlyQuest in a spot where they have to take a step back. Only 2 remaining, trying to solve the mess that they find themselves in.
Yeah, you got these one view. Noya was able to upgrade as well.
Your biggest mistake was
Odo Nut Dog with a 3K into the round. You were stating it, the power of the Yoru being able to be at 2 places at once, getting the pick on to C, understanding the speed up is likely to be A. And even if everybody else had fell there in Broken Door or the trades didn't go their way, Noya was sitting in A site with a Judge. So the plan of Shopify to funnel all the FlyQuest to speed up into A worked so perfectly because of that C pick. And now you have the Yoru ultimate online. If things get a little shaky, a little dicey, you can use it to spot out if FlyQuest can somehow manage to get into a site. Shopify have put a strong emphasis on C control early on in this half after winning that pistol.
Yeah, you see the refresh smokes already on the one-way. Mound control is theirs, and they can try to funnel them into A, which seems like will work here. Quick note, Donut has ult. No TP to get to right now, so it's going to take the conventional way, if you will, of rotating back to the opposite side of the map. Noya continues to be a problem. It's early. This is a terrifying Shopify.
This is so scary if you're FlyQuest. I'm expecting a very early timeout off the end of this. I think you need to try to stop the momentum and stop the bleeding that is happening right now because Shopify, every single member has had their moment right now. I mean, Alexis and Sarah haven't really had to do much of anything besides be that supporting cast of utility, helping funnel everybody towards that C site. But this is a setup that you don't see a lot of teams running every day on the defense. When you think of Vipers on this map, you kind of think of them anchoring towards that C side of the map a lot of the times. So maybe FlyQuest just not used to the anchoring potential of that Viper on A. How much stall it has. Now an Odin in the hands of Noya as well.
Toxin screen down.
Or early spam, and then the cutting of noise, deafening. Do you know what's waiting for you on the other side?
Yeah, the thing is once these players are spotted by a quick jiggle from Sarah, who almost falls, the rotations will come into play here. So there is no option to double back right now if you're FlyQuest. Yeah, you can pivot B, but it's unlikely. And look at how many members of Shopify are ready here because of that C default they've been doing.
Drone gonna catch a little bit of info. Noya, Bob not allowed safe passage, not able to find a way out. Gonna get a kill as a fadeaway nade provides some damage on Noya. What a 4v4 here. Mel's left on the outside looking in because of the sound sensors. Not fully convinced and making sure the rotations don't come through. Alexis lights up the kill feed.
One enemy remaining.
Shopify, full steam ahead.
The layers and layers of utility, but somehow it's Noya with the Odin who takes the fight onto Bob in main. And I think Bob got separated a little bit there from their own deadlock wall, right? So there's that timeout from FlyQuest that I was talking about earlier. Things have definitely been spiraling way out of control, and they need to do something about this C control that Shopify have been getting for free. And I think Shopify in the beginning, I mean, remember back to when there was a lot of emphasis towards that A side of the map early on in Pistol, where they kind of worked C and worked back towards A, and they had a free bomb plant. They need to do that, but towards that C side of the map. Bait out those rotations to come to that A site off of the tap of the door once you push off Sarah, and just have somebody C either take the 50-50 against Mel or just hold the space in the meantime, understanding nobody's been pushed up front B or walked all the way down, right? You need that exit plan. You cannot be one-dimensional against a team like Shopify who has all the experience in the world.
I mean, they have been successful in every facet of the game so far, up 5 rounds. As we see that timeout expire, you wonder, you question what the adjustments are for FlyQuest. They have struggled. I mean, they haven't really been able to find any success. You mentioned the C main fight that they haven't been able to win. You get funneled into A, and it's just kind of like a lamb to the slaughter.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like games like this, when two teams are undefeated, it's not just about who wins. It's about how you win. You want to make a statement. So far, Alexis has made a statement onto this round.
Yep, that's 3. I mean, it's just stingers, and so I get it, but also even understanding that you're in a disadvantageous situation because you don't really have the guns to fight back like you normally should or like you normally could. This still feels bad. I mean, Alexis gets 4 with the Odin. FlyQuest continue to struggle.
Right? And it's just allowing Shopify to gather more momentum, more confidence. Alexis finally had her moment to pop off with that Odin. Now, I mean, sitting at what, 1 kill a couple rounds ago? Now competing with Dodo Nut for the top spot, and because of that, getting that Breach ultimate online. Yeah, there's some really good ultimates on the side of FlyQuest, but it's a pretty even playing field into this round, and this map historically being attack-sided, this is not the start you wanted if you're FlyQuest. Keep in mind, everybody out there, this is Shopify's map pick, but still, I mean, you want to at least have it be close, have it be a fight. You don't want to go into your map pick getting blown out in a map. And look at this, Noya with this aggressive Viper's Pit in the lobby.
Oh,
what is that?
From Lace. As soon as the pick goes up, it gets dropped back down. We talked about Lace needing to be an X factor for FlyQuest. Yeah, it's been a little delayed, sure, maybe a bit behind schedule, but Lace still has it.
Spike planted.
KO ultimate use, some proactivity with the responses, some fighting out of water.
Oh man, they finally are gonna get on the board here, aren't they?
Surely.
Alexis, no real options. Odin will get 1, and then a message sent as they is there for the trade. FlyQuest get on the board, and they do so with some snappy shots out of the side of the X factors that we were looking for.
Yeah, not allowing Shopify to set up that retake. That head-to-head from Lace on Noya in a main. Honestly, from the start of this round to the end, there was a lot of statements being made like I was talking about. We saw Alexis with the Odin, instead of trying to get out with it, just full spraying. Now, how do you deal with this operator from Dodonut who is at C Mound? Are you aware? Do you use set layered utility to flush that out?
Suppression on the other side of the map. Dodo's up, aggressive, finds value with the op.
So aggressive. This has found a window here, though.
And that window slammed shut.
Yeah, that window got closed.
Meanwhile, Dodo's getting another kill. The paranoia out. Shopify presumably up 7, a flawless round. And now I think the bigger issue here for FlyQuest is there's another thing that they're going to have to solve for. They were down 6-0 without the op really being in play.
Shopify have been showing so many different looks. I mean, you had a Judge in one round. You had an Odin and a couple in the hands of 2 different players, Noya and Alexis. Now you have to deal with that operator. No ults were used either from Shopify in this round, so they still have Armageddon for retake. They still have Alexis's Breach ult for retake. Omen ult to gather space if you want, and now you're going to go for an A fight, and all of FlyQuest are here. Some really good reads from Shopify.
Oh, they have no idea that Thea is back there.
There's a lot behind this.
Thea's got a ratty little timing. Oh. Meanwhile, the TP's out. They're fully sending back C. Again, keep a close eye on Thea on the minimap. Or it can get botched at the hands of Mel.
What is that?
We missed it again. That's the pre-special. But either way, the pressure's been alleviated. Noise on the swing, continuing to deliver. And it's a firing squad with no room for safety. Shopify running away with this. I'm having a hard time seeing a way back in.
I mean, that was such a heads-up play from Mel, but hold on. Almost had a chance to connect some shots, but just too many members from Shopify towards C. What great awareness from Mel, though, because when I'm looking at the mini-map, it kind of felt like, yeah, they were unaware, right, Doug? It felt like maybe there was something there for Thea to get. But
That's
Mel
just... Go ahead.
Yeah? Second time out. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
100%. Second time out. You have to. I mean, you need to win these remaining rounds. And the problem is, you look at the economy, it's not looking good for you. Right? Maybe you can get something going with this deadlock ult. I feel like you should use it towards that. Like, try to find out where the main pack of Shopify are fighting and use it on, like, the other extremity, the opposite extremity. Usually somebody that's going to be, like, jiggling that area, right? If you can catch them off, maybe you get a free gun, upgrade, and a site plant. Might still not go your way because Alexis has that Armageddon, but that's probably your best way in. But, I mean, the way that Shopify have been able to manipulate FlyQuest rotations, they've been in the driver's seat this entire time. And it's just so impressive because they're the ones on defense, right? You would think that the attackers are the ones that manipulate the way that the defense are moving. But it's quite the opposite. That A fight and all that utility use from Shopify, the fact that they have the Yoru and that Omen ult to rotate quickly to C just makes the defense just so fortified. And Noya was able to get out in time around C-Mound area, not fall early. It's just really clean play from Shopify.
Hands off the wheel from the FlyQuest staff for the rest of this. As they're desperately looking. Yeah, I mean, they're desperately looking for answers.
Gotta find some value with this deadlock ultimate, but
The rich just get richer.
yeah. Another first blood for Dodo Nut. This time in front B. It's the first time that we've seen Shopify do a 1-3-1 setup. Both initiators were behind Dodo Nut to support if there was not more behind it.
There's the ult that you were mentioning and the need to find value with it, and it whiffs. It's wide left.
It's all up to 50-50s now. Lace needs to be the one to take the fight onto Mel and win on the A site, because if you run into C, that breach ultimate is here. Dodo Nut's already posted up on default with that operator. They're willing to let the walk-in happen. Shopify are willing to give all that C space and hold these weird off angle.
I mean, you've got Alexis's ult. That'll pave the way on a retake. Yeah, they're rotating off.
Tap of the door did bait out 2 rotations. The problem is FlyQuest are too hesitant. They didn't take their timing. So now there's going to be 3 members back here again. And this time, Alexis is with the pack, with the group of players. So she can flood with them.
They're just waiting for the cue. Bob gets plucked out of the sky. 10 seconds left. And now the Rolling Thunder surely secures the round. They don't even really have time to plan anymore. Shopify Rebellion waltz their way back into the site. Up 8. A perfect game so far.
This is a FlyQuest that is afraid. This is a FlyQuest that is hesitant. This is a FlyQuest that is playing to lose. And this is a Shopify that is just steamrolling in every aspect. Again, the last time these two teams faced off, it was a slaughter. 13-4, 13-3. Yes, it was different rosters, but it looks like the outcome on at least this first map is going to be the same. Shopify look unstoppable right now.
Yep, it does not, unfortunately, look any different. And the thing is, we talked about it. You can't call timeout. I mean, I don't know how else you get involved in the conversation. There's a nice trade out from Bob, but Dota's still getting theirs.
Yeah. I think you're seeing the flaw in composition for FlyQuest of not having the breach to support the Teo utility.
Yeah, solo Teho feels real bad.
Yeah, and I'm down to dive into it more after this round. Really get the viewers a feel of what I'm talking about, but I think we should focus on this brawl that's about to happen in A main. With the way things are going, I mean, you have a paranoia here in the hands of Mel, and still that Teo stun from Sarah. I think FlyQuest might just run into a slaughter.
It's a 2v4 though, but there's the paranoia that you mentioned. The missiles come back up online and they play it beautifully. Again, they don't overcommit to the fight. Yeah, they take a step back. Bob pops the ult and it's from a mile away.
Doug, they baited out their showstopper with early presence, and now they're willing to play a retake on a more delay utility.
Paranoia out. Alexis is there to greet with open arms. And again, the barrage of utility. Oh, it's off the rails.
10 seconds left.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you're going to save the op, but at what cost?
The round is done, and I mean...
Wow.
Last round.
I mean, so much to dive into from Shopify, but I do want to talk about the difference in composition of not having that follow-up utility. This is the problem with running the solo initiator Teo is you use your stealth bot to get info when you know Dodo Nut is there. You know. But you can't use a stun. You can't use anything. A flash to get Dodo Nut off of the line. And that's why this operator is moving so much value.
Not again, surely. They know where Dodo Nut is. The Roomba, the drone. Literally everything sent.
But you can't do anything about it.
Deny the success. Yeah, all you can do is really rotate away.
Both Omens did fall here. That means no more Omen smokes on the attacking side, and that allows for a Shopify to play in these awkward spots. Not smoked off whatsoever.
Sarah spotting one. Just a deadlock, though. This ult is going to give everything away. I mean, Donut's going to catch so much of what's going on. Noya getting flushed up by the utility. Sarah's there to greet and swing. And this has all the makings of an 11-1 half. Unless Bob can do something about it. A 1v2. Swinging into the ops. Swinging into their death. Swinging into another round win for Shopify.
Just an absolute masterclass of the defensive side. What is up with both of these teams that we watched on Lotus starting on defense? Just making the map turn into a defense-sided map. Again, this has been an attack-sided map since it came out. 11-1 defenses are not something that you're supposed to witness twice in one day, Doug.
18-3 out from Dodo Nut. The calling from Mel has been perfect. And yes, they've been able to abuse the fact that you don't have enough utility to get Dodo off these lines early.
Yeah.
C was theirs the entire half. Yes. I mean, I don't think they found any success on that side of the map at all.
Oh, and you would think that maybe you would have a deadlock nade lineup or something of the sort to kind of just make it annoying, but we don't. And here we are. 3-1-1 spread attack for Shopify. And it's all off of contact, but that deadlock sensor is flushed out.
And there's no the response from FlyQuest there. No rotating back, no concern about the sound sensor being tripped. That smoke will help a little bit. Now they know Yori's there. They're starting to get a better understanding of what the picture is.
With Mel showing C, it keeps 2 members there, so still odds in favor of Shopify. Oh. He has something to say about it.
Looking for the sliver, and we'll find it off the Paranoia. 1 kill found. Noya trying to do her best and cannot. Meanwhile, Mel might be able to repeat the success found in the pistol in the first half, but Mel will fall. And so FlyQuest in a really nice position to win this pistol here.
Some really good set utility, damage utility, raise nade, salvos.
But it's not quite done yet. Alexis Tuff's the last bit of utility. Donut trying to pile it on, but you're just outnumbered. You're just overwhelmed, and FlyQuest get to 2.
Yeah, really good time Paranoia from the defense. They spoke about pistol round heroics that we've seen her do in the past. This time it's that Paranoia that I was talking about that sets up Aluvili, who found that little gap in their own Viper wall. Not afraid, but still such an uphill battle. This is going to be one of the toughest comebacks. And if you look at Shopify's buy right now, just some set utility, classics across the board, probably understanding that Bob likes to buy into that outlaw, and they want to have full armor for the following round.
Yeah, it's just not worth really investing anything here, to be honest. I mean, for what, right? Like, you're up 20,000 rounds. You know that you should be able to close this out, and maybe it's a little delayed, but no reason to force it. So Shopify scooping up the Warp C, leaning heavy that way. I don't think that drone tagged anyone across the middle of the map.
It didn't, but I want to take note of that because that's 2 rounds in a row that FlyQuest have used that drone in the mid round to try to get info on if there's alert.
Outlaw has been found. They're going to try to funnel out behind it, and they're going to be greeted by stingers, by sheriffs, by FlyQuest, really, as they get their 3rd.
Not too costly. I think Mel, now having a little bit of an understanding on where some of these sensors might be placed when it's not an aggressive fight at A. You know, we saw that one on C. And also understanding that Teo drone being used in the mid-round front B. Mel, when that stealth bot was used, heard the audio there. That's why she opened the door, kind of made it known that, okay, hey, you can't just walk into that B space for free. I wonder now if there's some kind of game plan around that piece of utility. If they decide to hide, re-hit B. FlyQuest thinking that maybe that's all clear. We'll see.
Meanwhile, FlyQuest clearing out all of A main on their own at the beginning of the round. Not safe for Shopify to explore. At least not yet. And they're taking the space, too.
Again, remember what I was talking about with that stealth bot being used early on.
Yeah, Noya understanding those timings perfectly. Dodges the utility from main and then knows that the drone is coming. Tucks back in, never tagged. Keep a close eye on the minimap, though, because that tail's crunching in from B. If they don't fully speed up on this A main, they might get caught. They might get crunched. Bob's gonna get so much done. Only 1 found, though.
That flank
now it's on Thea. Thea tries to stay back. There's the flank, and Mel's ready for it.
I think this is so obvious right now that it's a heavy lean towards A. Shopify need to run all the way to C. Guess it'll be a front B approach, though, with a deposit of Noya, who could try to be a bit of a backstab, bit of a crunch. No smoke front B to delay this hit. This could work in favor for Shopify.
They overwhelmed. Dodonet opens the sight right up, and Shopify can fill in directly behind it. Even a TP for the late flank if need be. Alexis commits to getting spiked down. It's just an outlaw and a stinger on the other side of this. They try to swing on the other side of the net, and it works at least for one. But the truth is, I mean, I guess successes have been pretty hard to come by for FlyQuest, and so you take those, but it's just been a complete slaughter from the side of Shopify.
Yeah, it looked very promising, too, with that flank that was coming in, but there's just something Mel just has, like, these spidey senses that just go off. Like, keep in mind the first half, that Omen ult, I guess that one's a little bit more obvious, but this time, being aware that somebody could just be lurking, because of that stealth bot being used really early on and how much presence that was shown from Shopify today, just really great awareness from the IGL. That's that veteran experience shining, honestly. Like,
yeah,
you can't paint the picture better.
Aggressive, the flash on the other side of the wall, the paranoia traded, and now the ult has been popped. Bob getting high ground, finding success onto Sarah.
Great start.
And the round slows down. Uh-oh, Lace asleep at the wheel. Regains, regathers, gets on to Noya. Now trying to find safety behind the mound, and there's only so much protection there.
Completely overwhelmed. Not aware of the flank this time around, though. Phenomenal showstopper out of Bob. Stopping that A default, stopping that A walk up. Dodo Nuts, Yoru Flash was the cue to pop that. And that's the push and pull. Lace taking all of that C mound control because of what was shown. And now a time to just slow things down for Shopify. Still two timeouts in play. But, I mean, it's noted. A chance for FlyQuest to also, have some talks as well. Remember, the coach of FlyQuest using both timeouts in the first half. So, not able to talk to his team for quite some time.
Meanwhile, you talked about FEs and obviously the experience that comes with that, the championship pedigree that comes with that, and not getting involved in the conversation is he's been pretty hands-off for the last little bit, and you take a look at the scoreboard and you understand why. Shopify have been in full control for most of it, and now maybe feeling some of it slip away is the case. So he gets involved. Donut 22-6. Meanwhile, you look at the economy, and it's spotty. And so we'll see what Shopify choose to do here. I mean, that the thing about a lead this big and the thing about playing against a breach Tejo comp is that it's inevitable, right? Like, you're going to hit that sweet spot when you have the Tejo and the breach hold up at the same time. And you've got Dodo Nut ulting as well. And all of a sudden, I mean, you just ult your way past the finish line.
Yes, and I think that's what we're going to see in this round. We're going to see the C orb try to be gathered on the breach. Start building up towards those win contingencies. I saw a lot of pings in front B from Shopify early on, like before this round started. Maybe to ping the stealth drone. Maybe they're waiting for that after the C control. But it's not used at the normal time. This time...
Oh, I love that. Mel just put a smoke out C to suggest that they're contacting out behind it.
Yeah, the
and then
smoke,
immediately, FlyQuest sent 3 back to C, and they're just going to try to contact their way out.
They are ahead of it.
And so now they know. And Bob's going to have to rotate back. So the timing on this is a little weird. It's a little disjointed out from FlyQuest. Meanwhile, if Mel can get this kill, this opens up a lot. Paranoia out from A is going to cause a little bit of problems. Delay things for just a moment as the door is tapped. Oh, we've got exploring. Utility out. Mel had no shot. And FlyQuest should be able to waltz through the rest of this round.
Yeah, they're going to be stuffed in tree. This is going to be so difficult. Blueville can use that deadlock nade to further the damage.
Spike down.
It's not too though. It's getting kind of costly right now for FlyQuest.
The money's not great. 200 credits, 100 credits. But three weapons, carried over, and they should be okay.
Yeah, they should be all right. But that breach ult was gathered from Alexis. Now, we saw a bunch of pings front B from Shopify, from probably, presumably Mel, early on in that last round. I'm assuming that it was because they were waiting for that stealth bot timing, right? And then Mel was going to try to take that front B lurk.
Right.
It was a good adaptation from FlyQuest to not commit to that same use of the reclear utility and kind of switch things up and just walk on Mel. I think what Mel was going for worked against her.
Oh, I didn't think Donut would pop the ult this early. I thought they might wait to get Sarah's up as well, but they're investing into this. So Donut's going to clear all that space.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
And now Lace can continue to push this. That's one ult off the board. But Lace waits on the other side of the smoke. And if they can get a post plant, that's a big win condition for Shopify, but flushed out by the Teho ult. And now forced to take a step back, potentially rotate away, or at least threaten it. The smoke out towards B Heaven. The door is tapped. 3 of them go back B. Lace is there to greet 1, but it's not enough. It's not enough. Bob gets 2 more. Bob gets all 3. FlyQuest gets 6.
There was so much that went wrong for Shopify in the micro. I mean, that fault line was not meant to be for Dodonut, right? That fault line was supposed to land on Lace. It was supposed to be a setup for Dodonut to come out of that gate crash and just pop out with the judge and get the free entry onto the C site. You get the spike planet for free, but now all of a sudden we had to invest our breach ultimate after we get 1 kill at C. We're not aware that someone could be backside. And FlyQuest have stolen a round away off of the mistakes of Shopify. And now there's 3 members here to deal with this B push.
You imagine it's off of a stun setup, a little bit ahead of it all is Mel, but traded right back. Sarah gets a second, and all of a sudden, they've got a shot at this. This thing's growing legs. Luvili looking to get a swing, but is traded right back. Those numbers do not add up when you're down, when you're in a disadvantageous situation. Still 2 rifles to play on the side of the defense. It's all onto Alexis, and she has a Sheriff and a Stinger in a 1v1 against Thea on the other side. Can Thea keep this map alive? A tap. Waiting for the swing, and Thea just a little bit further away. It never comes. 53 seconds left on the clock here. Plenty of time to instill doubt.
Yeah. Alexis still working in this front B, but Thea, she faked some footsteps earlier like she was running away. Now she's going to be re-clearing Heaven. Both players are so low. There's so much tension in the air.
A is close. A is close. Alexis checking Heaven, having to check every single corner. So much time has elapsed. Note that Alexis has a stun back up on mine. Meanwhile, Thea has all the smokes in the world, but is not using any of them. There it is. There's the fight, and Thea comes out on top.
And that's just a battle of the minds, right? So many timings missed. But Thea is the one that comes out on top. I mean, really, Alexis could be anywhere in that post plant.
I will survive them.
Thea just finding the right timing on the actual site. Not forcing the issue. I feel like a lot of players would just want to speed up, take the 1v1, but Thea took her time. Understanding that the spike needs to be planted. And that's what ultimately ended up winning the round for her. So now FlyQuest have shortened that deficit to 5 rounds. They built momentum.
Yeah, I will say though, I don't, not to be a Doug Downer, but Shopify back on guns. That was an eco. For it to have gotten down to a 1v1 is tremendous, and now Sarah has ult too.
But again, remember what happened last gun round and the mistakes that Shopify made on the execution.
Yeah. Ooh. You're not wrong. And now they know they're not gonna try to use the orbit clear and fully sending into this. Mel's got behind him. The aggro TP from the captain. And now Shopify looking to put him away. Up in numbers as Mel gets another. They and Bob in a 2v4.
What is that?
I had no idea that wasn't the plant though, and so it's able to get stuck. No Armageddon to speak of. Thea, the hero from the previous round, gets another, and all of a sudden we're back on road 2v2. Alexis on the aggro swing. Thea all alone. The demand for heroics. Again, but in a high-low like that, good luck. Shopify walk away with map 1, 13-7.